Alright, beginning our lesson today, we will start with lesson 3, liters and milliliters. Before we begin, I need you to have a look at this piece of paper and understand that 1 liter equals 1000 milliliters. So 1L, L is for liters, 1L equals 1000 ml, milliliters. All right. Have a look at that. Remember it, understand it. It's very important. Okay. All right, boys and girls, I want to teach you how much each of these little lines represents. How much water does it represent? So if I have water up until that line, if this beaker is filled up until that line, how much water is in there? So this is how we find out. We need to do a quick sum. We take the top number. If it is in liters, make sure to convert it to milliliters. Then we count these little lines. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 little lines. So we need to divide 1000 by the lines, which is 10, to find how much each of these lines represents. So let's do the quick sum, the quick division sum. All right. Okay. Can 1 be divided by 10? Absolutely not. Put a dot. Can 10 be divided by 10? Yes. How many times? 10, 20. It can only go 10 once. 1 times 10 is 10. Draw a line, subtract. 10 minus 10 is 0. Bring down your next 0. Remember to work in columns. Can 0 be divided by 10? Absolutely not. 10, don't forget your rainbows. 10 times 0 is? 10 times 0 is 0. Subtract. Bring down your last 0. Can 0 be divided by 10? Absolutely not. All right, a 0. 10 times 0 is 0. Subtract and 0. Do I have a remainder to go to the top? No. What is my answer? 100. So each of these little lines represents 100 milliliters. So just to remind you, if we get a beaker that is not labeled at every single line, then you need to take the top number, convert it to milliliters, count your lines, then divide your top number by the amount of lines, and that will tell you how many milliliters each of these little lines are. So if my water were to come up to this line, I would know that there is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 milliliters if my water came up to this line. I hope that's very easy for you, so when you get examples like this and you need to find out how much water is in this beaker, you know to take this top number and divide it by the amount of lines. Okay, now we're going to look at this example. It says, what is the total volume of water in the beakers? There are 1, 2, 3 beakers, and they want to know what they are all together. So let's first have a reminder of what volume is. Remember, volume is the amount of water, or the amount of liquid inside of a container, the amount of space the liquid takes up. Okay? That is what the volume is. So the amount of water is what we are trying to find out. So remember, we cannot add liters and milliliters because they are not the same. We need to make sure that we are adding either liters plus liters, or we need to add milliliters and milliliters. What is the difference? Millimeters are much smaller than liters. Liters are much bigger than milliliters. So to make this very easy, I'm going to change the 1 liter into milliliters, because this jug is in milliliters and this jug is in milliliters. So jug A will be 1,000 milliliters. Now we can add them all together very easily. So the total volume of water would be 1,000 milliliters plus 500 milliliters plus 100 milliliters. Together it is 1,000. Together it is 1,000. 1,500. Let's get this. It's 1,500 plus 100 milliliters, and the total would be 1,600 milliliters. Okay, but they want to know the answer in liters and milliliters. So if I write 1,600 milliliters, how do I turn that into liters and milliliters? Remember, when we want to find out liters, we need to look at the thousands column. That will tell us how many liters. So this is the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. How many liters are in 1,600 milliliters? There is 1 liter. How many milliliters are left? There are 600 milliliters. Okay, so the answer would be 1 liter, 600 milliliters. Now we are going to express milliliters in liters and milliliters. Here is an example. We've added up these two beaker amounts of water, okay, and our total amount is 1,100 milliliters. So if I have 1,100 milliliters, how many liters is that? Looking at our key, we know to find the liters, we need to look at the thousands column. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The thousands column tells us it is 1 liter. And how many milliliters? 100 milliliters. That is how you exchange milliliters to liters and milliliters. Here is another example as shown in the textbook. How do we change 2050 milliliters to liters and milliliters? We look at the thousands column. What number is there? That will tell us how many liters there are. There are 2 liters. To find out the milliliters, we look at the rest of the milliliters that are left, and that is 50. I hope this is very easy for you. It should be, as long as you remember the key.